Honorable Koffa, can you tell us the content of your letter today, sir?
Oh, the content of the communication, as was stated in plenary, is basically self-explanatory. One of the things we as lawmakers have to do, we have to gauge the sense of what is going on with our citizens. And increasingly this school year and this year, more and more citizens are sounding the clarion call of distress in terms of where to lay their heads for them and their families and how to keep their children in school. This is the reason why we decided to proffer a letter to say when we are doing the 2026 budget, we need to take into account this urgency that is happening now so that we provide relief to families so they do not fall vulnerable in this society. Because if children cannot go to school, there's a long-term effect on society. So we have to intervene. Look, as I said in the communication, great societies do these kinds of things. Even imagine the cash transfer program that were being operated for women, rural women. It was a United States program. It was a USA program. So if the Americans can spend their money on providing relief for rural women, certainly in Liberia, in our own budget, we can do the same.
Do you care to make some clarity related to how it's going to be done? Because some of your colleagues are even asking questions. You may pay people rent, school fees, blah, blah. And so you want to explain to us?
Okay, so when this system is developed, it's going to be a voucher system, right? For example, you could say, and I'm just giving you an example, say a rent voucher is $600, right? So if a rent voucher is $600, it means that each family that is eligible, and there will be a means testing process, okay? There will be a graduating process. Maybe the highest voucher may be $1,200, this voucher may be $200. So it will be given to the families based upon their needs. So for that basis, maybe you could set aside $10 million. For education, you know, I hear people say, oh, there are free public schools. Who don't want their children to go to the best school possible? So if you put aside, for example, again, $15 million, all right, and try to give out vouchers based on school vetting. This is one of the things that would bring a school that is eligible for vouchers, okay? We'll have to meet certain standards in terms of education level. That will help to bring it up because everybody's going to compete for that. So let's not children stay home, okay? Because the father cannot afford or the mother cannot afford to put them in the school that they feel is best for their children.
Round up, have FM, please.
And so, Honorable Koffa, I'm concerned with the urgency attached to your communication, especially looking at the post-status of the economy. Why now?
Oh, but why not now? Okay, because things weren't getting better, they are getting worse. Like I told you, the social cash transfer program that was being done by the United States, USA, has been canceled. Okay, so you can't say why now. Why now? Because the time is now. All right, the urgency is now. More and more families are feeling it now. So you can't say because we didn't do it before, so we should never do it. Okay, what if those families continue to sink? What will be our response? Well, we didn't do it before. Yes, there are things we haven't done since 1847 that we're doing today.
From FM, Prince Boba, please.
So, Honorable Speaker and Prince, so I'd like to know what would be the standard set in your mind that will qualify schools if this initiative is launched in Liberia that will be there to benefit from SHES initiative? What would be the benchmark or the qualification criteria?
Well, staff and I are still working with education experts to develop it. That's why we said let's do it at the 2026 budget. We'll be able to submit a full proposal to the Ways, Means and Finance Committee.
So my name is Achi Sebobione from Blaze. In your communication, are you also looking at the budgetary allotment to that? Because I believe your communication is not just for the period, it's a long-term plan. So in terms of financial revenue generation for long-term, are you concerned about recommendations that government, in a way that government will be able to generate revenue in order to support your communication if it is passed into legislation?
No, so it's actually not a long-term plan, it's a short-term plan because it's to address an urgent need. So we can take the 2026 budget and carve out the requisite amount of money. It doesn't have to be 25 million. It could be more. It could be less. Okay, but we have to be able to match, making an attempt, a dent on this urgent need, right? So beyond 2026 and maybe 2027, if you want to develop a long-term social welfare program, which every responsible government has, then we can look at it as a matter of policy and as a matter of law.
Final question, Jenkins.
So what's your expectation from the committee?
My expectation is when it goes to Ways, Means, and Finance, look, this is not something anybody can oppose, right? You know, some politician was saying, oh, why you didn't do it when you were there? Well, economic conditions change over time. And if I were to fully explain, if I were to fully answer that question, we'll get into a different debate. So let me say it this way. My expectation is that I think most of my colleagues, the majority, will vote for such a plan. If rationally put, our job now is to put that rational plan together and submit it at the time that the budget is submitted.
Thank you so much.